Good morning everyone and welcome to this year's UN Day. Again, we're online, which is a shame because it means that there's not going to be any yummy food for us to eat and no parents in the school to share this with us, but hopefully you'll be able to get to see it online. We have lots of recorded performances and lots of factual information about a variety of different countries which the students have chosen. The idea was to put together a fact file and a presentation along with some live pieces, hopefully, that will be in there as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the students have produced. We also have, courtesy of Miss Lonergan, some musical performances from each of the different year groups up to year 11. So again, I'm sure it will be a fantastic event. So rather than me spending too much time talking to you all, we will get straight into it. There won't be much in the way of segue other than sort of a title card introducing each of the different form groups, although I will take a bit of time to introduce each of the musical performances. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Year 7 and 7B to start us off.
Italian food by Matteo, Davide and Victor.
Italian cuisine. Italian cuisine is very unique and special in its own way. The way that they cook the food and the way that its ingredients and form of cooking is also important towards how tasty the food is made. Some examples of Italian food are pizza, lasagna, spaghetti, bolognese, and many, many more.
The best ingredients in Italian food. In Italy, there are many ingredients that are ideal for the Italian food or cuisine. For example, wheat, meat, tomato, garlic, and fish are some very used ingredients in the Italian cuisine. Italians have a very balanced diet because they use all ingredients for a balanced diet: wheat, bread, pasta, pizza, etc.
Different foods. Italian cuisine. In Italian cuisine, there are many different foods that are popular. For example, pizza, pasta, and many more. Italy is famous for its wide variety of food types: bread, patisserie, soup, meat, stew, dessert, and more. Overall, a lot of delicious food. Italian food fact. The margherita pizza was invented when pizza maker Raffaele Esposito made a simple pizza for the Queen of Italy, Queen Margherita. He made a pizza to the color of the Italian flag with mozzarella for white, tomato for red, and basil for green. Number 2. Pizza was made in the city of Naples. Number 3. An Italian eats an average of 23 kilograms of pasta per year. An Italian eats pasta at least once every day. 5. Antipasti is often the first part of the meal. 6. Italians eat a salad after every meal. Hopefully you liked it. Have a good day.
Italian culture. Etiquette. Italian etiquettes vary from things that most of the world does, like saying good morning, to things most of the world never does. For example, it is considered rude to take off your shoes in front of somebody else. Some other Italian etiquettes are: you can be up to 45 minutes late and still be considered on time. If you ever wrap a gift, never use the colors black or purple, as they are considered a symbol of grief and bad luck. If ever giving flowers, never give a chrysanthemums, as it is a sign of death.
Art. Italy is very famous for its stunning art. It has many famous pieces and artists, the most famous being the Mona Lisa. Italian art doesn't only include paintings, it also consists of statues. Italian art is very famous and it shows traditions and beliefs. There are many famous Italian artists such as Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. Art is a big part of Italian culture, and so it will remain.
Legends of Italy. Italy is known for its beautiful legends. It has legends from colorful rivers to the lost treasures of kings, from two brothers that were raised by wolves to legends of Jupiter and Ovid. By far, the most iconic Italian legend is of Romulus and Remus, the two children that were raised by wolves, that forged Rome, the city that in a few centuries will become Italy's capital.
Italy interesting facts. Italy is one of the most visited countries in Europe, with a rich, fascinating history, rich culture, and delected cuisine. There's plenty to love from Rome, from the vibrating capital of Rome, the canal-laced Venice, and sun-baked Calabria.
Benito Mussolini ruled over Italy from 1922 until 1945. Before he ruled the country, he was prime minister for 3 years, from 1922 to 1925, aka Deuce, which means the leader. He was killed in 1945 by opposition troops.
Italy is one of Western Europe's youngest countries. Did you know how old Italy is as a country? Italy has only been a country since 1861, when the separate nation-states unified together as the Kingdom of Italy.
Italy's last king ruled for just 36 days. Onto a related Italy fun fact. King Umberto II, or as he is nicknamed, the May King, he only ruled from 9 May 1946 to 12 June 1946. Italy had a royal family until 1946. He also had 4 children. They are Vittorio Emanuela, Prince of Naples, Princess Maria Pia of Bourbon-Parma, Princess Maria Gabrielle of Savoy, and Princess Maria Beatrice of Savoy.
Not a lot is known about the beginnings of Rome. However, legend has it that Romulus and Remus, sons of Mars, founded Rome. Romulus then killed his brother and named the city after himself. Rome is most famous for its large empire which spanned across the Mediterranean. Another famous person in Roman history is Julius Caesar. Rome had captured almost the entire Mediterranean Sea. In 476 AD, the Roman Empire collapsed. Barbarians were now in Rome. In 773, a man by the name of Charlemagne established the Kingdom of Italy. By the 14th century, an event by the name of the Renaissance has started in Italy. It took place between the 14th and 17th century. It promoted classic philosophy, literature, and art. In 1803, some parts of the Italian peninsula were conquered by Napoleon. Italy finally united into one state in 1870 after a series of wars. During World War I, the Italians at first sided with the Central Powers, but towards the end of the war, fought for the Allies. They were promised land, but weren't given everything they were promised. In 1922, Mussolini marched on Rome and became prime minister. A few years later, in 1925, he took complete control of Italy. When World War II broke out, Italy was allied with Germany and Japan. Italy occupied Albania, invaded Egypt, and invaded Greece. However, its allies made 2 big mistakes. Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, and Germany invaded the USSR. This resulted in Italy getting invaded and losing the war. After the war, the Christian political party took over the politics of Italy, with the Italian Communist Party as opposition. Anyway, in 1958, they joined the European Union and started using the euro in 1999. That is all I will say for the history of Italy, and I hope you enjoyed.
So, as part of UN Day, we always look to celebrate different cultures around the world. And this year we're doing it through the medium of world music. So, Miss Lonergan has been recording a variety of different classes performing music from different locations around the world. And Year 8 have been looking at African drumming, especially from Ghana. So, I'm now going to hand over to Year 8.
German History by Felix and Alex. The Prussians. The Prussian Kingdom, Königreich Preußen, lasted from 1701 to 1871. The German Empire was established before the unification. Germany was a bunch of tribes. We can also refer to them as the Germanic tribes. The German Empire was established in 1871. Back then, 63% of the population was Protestant, 36% were Roman Catholic, and 1% were Jewish. Germany in World War I had controlled several territories in Africa and Asia. For a new colonial power, they established themselves well. In World War I, they wanted to invade France to force the UK to surrender, and then knock out Russia. However, the introduction of trench warfare made that an impossibility, essentially. In the aftermath of World War I, Germany was brought down completely to its knees. The economy was basically inexistent. You had to have a wheelbarrow of cash to buy a loaf of bread. And the dream of having Germany controlling the world slowly faded away. After World War II, Adolf Hitler took over the conquest of, turning Germany into the once great empire again. And he allied with Japan and Italy, but everything came crumbling down, and Hitler eventually committed suicide in his bunker, and the Axis were defeated. Therefore, World War II ended. The East and West. The East and the West were split between the Communist East and the Democratic West by the very famous Berlin Wall. They were reunited on the 9th of November, 1989.
Deutsches Food by Luci Tudor and Sherban. As you may know, Germany is very famous for its food, for Wurst and its pretzels. Here are some more famous German foods. Brötchen, Schnitzel, Kartoffelpuffer and Bratkartoffeln, Apfelstrudel, Käsespätzle, and Currywurst.
That was a nice introduction to 9E's video all about Brazil. We thought it would be quite good for you to listen to some Brazilian samba. So I'm now going to hand over to Year 7.
The Brazilian flag. The flag consists of a green background and yellow diamond shape. It also has a blue globe that has stars on it, 27 to be precise, and they are meant to show the 26 states and its federal district. The globe is covered by a white banner which reads Ordem e Progresso, meaning order and progress. Brazilian dancing styles. So there are many different and popular dancing styles in various different parts of Brazil. Some popular dancing styles include samba, carimbo, capoeira, floro, coco, capoeira, hongo, and finally lundu. But the most popular style of dance in Brazil would definitely be samba, which is a lively Afro-Brazilian dance created by African people who had arrived in South America from the African music and dance culture. Samba is a ballroom dance and often a partner dance, but can also be danced solo. Brazilian famous dancers. Viviane Araújo. Viviane dances in a traditional martial art dance called capoeira. Viviane Araújo is a model, actress, and reality TV personality. She's also known as the Queen of the Drummers for the Salgueiro Samba Dance School. Raíssa de Oliveira. Raíssa de Oliveira is a 26-year-old samba dancer and journalism student. She's the Queen of the Drummers for Bahia Flor and has been representing them since she was 12. Rio de Janeiro Carnival. The Rio Carnival is one of the biggest attractions around the world. Brazilians say that the New Year doesn't start in Brazil until the Rio Carnival has started. With bright colors, ball costumes, and samba songs, Rio Carnival takes place every year since 1723. Celebrate the carnival usually before Lent in February or March. Cities. The capital city of Brazil is Brasília. There are also many other big, important cities such as Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo, Salvador, Fortaleza, Belo Horizonte, and many others. Each city has its own characteristics and landmarks. The city of São Paulo has a stunning population of 12.4 million people. In Rio de Janeiro, there is a huge statue, Christ the Redeemer, on top of a hill. Manaus is a city in the middle of the biggest forest in the world, the Amazon forest. It is home to the National Institute of Amazon Research. Samba. Samba is a type of Afro-Brazilian music which is distinct for its characteristic rhythm patterns, emphasis on the melody, and known for its famous dances. It uses relatively simple harmonic notes and uses popular African precision instruments, and most of the melodies are in Portuguese. Samba's origins. Samba is a Brazilian style of music and also dance that originated from the slave trades of West Africa in 1532. Slowly but surely, it started to become popular as a ballroom dance in Brazil and then spread out to be extremely popular, including a lot of people in marching parades. It now is an icon and cultural expression of Brazil. And displayed on your screen is a link to Masquenada, a very recognizable and popular samba song. Pagode originated in Rio de Janeiro, and this music was basically a celebration of food, dance, and party. Different instruments were used to create pagode, and the most famous one is the 4-string banjo. Bossa Nova was developed in the late 1950s or early 1960s. It was practically a softer samba mixed with American jazz. It consists of guitar, surdo, which is a large bass drum, claves, sometimes vocals, and some brass instruments, to name a few. During the 1960s, bossa nova spread to the US and dominated the jazz scene, capturing the attention of famous US jazz artists at the time. Feijoada. The word feijoada comes from the Portuguese word feijo, which means beans. Feijoada is a black bean stew made with salted and smoked pork and beef products such as carne seca and smoked pig spare ribs. Traditional feijoada includes less expensive meats like pig's ears, feet, and tails, as well as beef tongue. The thick smoky stew is then covered with toasted cassava flour and served with rice, sauteed collard greens, or kale, orange slices, and toasted cassava flour. The meal is as warm, inviting, filling, and vibrant as Brazil's music, people, and culture. Some people would believe that a feijoada would be incomplete without a batida. Batida is a Brazilian cocktail prepared with cachaça, the country's official alcoholic beverage. Batida is a Portuguese word that means shaken or milkshake, as well as crash, which is commonly used to refer to a car accident. This beverage is made with cachaça, fruit juice, and sugar. Animals in Brazil. Brazil is home to a large variety of unique wildlife. Some examples of the wildlife in Brazil are hummingbirds, toucans, parrots, harpy eagles, capybaras, sloths, spider monkeys, anteaters, pumas, jaguars, armadillos, otters, and river dolphins, and anacondas. The harpy eagle is one of the largest eagles on the planet. They can be found in the Amazon rainforest. Harpy eagles can reach 34 to 42 inches, 1.07 meters, in length, and 8.8 to 20 pounds, around 9 kilograms of weight. Females are larger than males. Harpy eagle has a wingspan of 69 to 88 inches and long tail that facilitates navigation and maneuvering through dense canopy. Harpy eagle has great eyesight and excellent sense of hearing that are used for detection of the prey. Harpy eagles are carnivores. Some of their prey include sloths, monkeys, cotimundus, javelinas, armadillos, and parrots. Harpy eagles mate for a lifetime and evenly share parental duties. They produce offspring once every 2 or 3 years. Harpy eagle is listed as near threatened, which means that it can become endangered in the near future. Coati. A coatimundi, commonly called a coati, is a close relative to the raccoon family. They are not raccoons, but their long pointed muzzle and a long ring-shaped tail make them look like raccoons. They are omnivorous animals, and their diet contains of food ranging from vegetation to small vertebrates and invertebrates. Some things that they eat include small birds, rodents, lizards, crocodile eggs, and bird eggs. They are between 33 centimeters to 69 centimeters long and weigh around 2 to 8 kilograms. Coatis are often seen in large groups called bands of up to 15 to 20 individuals. They are in the least concerned category of endangered animals.
Ancient Greek Architecture by Sophia and me. Introduction. Greek architecture is known for tall columns, intricate detail, symmetry, harmony, and balance. The Greeks built all sorts of buildings. The main examples of Greek architecture that survive today are the large temples that they built to their gods. Temples. Temples were a major part of Greek society. They served as housing for god or goddess statues, and they were also used as praying grounds. Greek people looked at their temples as we look at our churches and cathedrals today. Stadiums. The Greek stadiums served as a major part of their civilization. They used these enormous structures for sporting events, concerts, etc. Arches. Arches were another major architectural advance. Many structures, including stadiums, incorporated arches not only for the looks, but also for their strength. Amphitheaters. Greek societies used these structures as meeting places as well as for entertainment. When the Greeks built amphitheaters, they used to land their advantage. The structure was carved out of a mountain. The circular shape projected the noise through the seats. Thank you.
With another of our musical interludes, it's now over to Year 9 who are going to play us some reggae.
We've been together for a decade now. Still afraid I am loving you more. If I could do it all again, I'd probably do it all the same as before. I don't wanna know what would have happened if I never had your love. I didn't become myself before I met you. I don't wanna know what would have happened if I never had felt your love. Everything about you I like. We started out so fast, now we can take it slow. Love takes some time, takes a little time to take a little time. As it ages like wine. How does it keep getting better? Every day out of find some new way. The time we spent together, simply feels good. We got a good thing going. And just when I thought that my heart was full, I found places that I never explored. You're so fascinating, I can't remember the last time I was bored. I don't wanna know what would have happened if I never had your love. I didn't become myself before I met you. does it keep getting better? Every day I'll find some new way to prove that time we spent together feels good. How does it keep getting better? Every day I'll find some new way to prove the time we spent together simply feels good. We got a good thing going.
Australia by Year Tenar. Basic information. Australia is the largest country in Oceania and the sixth largest country in the world, with a population of 26 million and an area of almost 8 million square kilometers. Australia is a country in Oceania on the southeast of Asia. It is slightly smaller than the USA. It has extreme high climates in the north. Australia is full of plateau and desert and contains a lot of natural resources such as coal, oil, diamonds, rare elements, uranium, and many more. Australia is one of the largest coal exporters in the world, accounting for 40% of all global exports. If you were to ask most people about the top landmarks in Australia, the answer is likely to include the Sydney Opera House, Uluru, and Great Barrier Reef, but there are so many more. Some other landmarks would include the Kangaroo Island, Cradle Mountain, Tasmania, the city of Perth, Rottnest Island, Broome, and Port Arthur Penitentiary. Australia's capital. Canberra is known as Australia's capital city and frequently labeled the bush capital for its euphoric nature reserves and the surrounding mountain range. It is one of the few cities in Australia in which you can enjoy a relaxing float around in the sky. The hot air balloon rides are highly searched for by tourists and are increasing in popularity every year. Canberra is also known for having savory wines on its outskirt vineyards, as well as distinguished local breweries and many distilleries. Plants and animals in Australia. Plants. Eucalyptus is a genus of over 700 species of flowering trees. They have no petals, grow much faster than average trees, square stems, and can be used to prevent malaria. Animals. Koala are one of the most unique animals in Australia. Newborn koalas are called pinkies. Koalas are endangered due to forest fires. There are about 330,000 koalas left in Australia. Thank you for listening. Have a great Q&A.
How the Spanish government works. Spain is a democratic constitutional monarchy, meaning that it has a king. However, the people also held power, as they elect candidates for the parliament. The largest party in parliament will typically nominate their leader as the prime minister. The king will then swear in the prime minister and his government, which will be in charge of running the country day to day.
Interesting facts about Spain. Spain is the only European country to have a physical border with an African country. Spain was the world's first global empire. Spanish is the world's second most spoken native language. There is a town in Spain where 700 people have the surname Japón, and the Spanish national anthem has no words.
6. Spain is the second largest country in the UN. 7. In Spain is nudity is legal. 8. Spain has the fifth largest population in Europe. 9. Spain is the second highest undevelopment rate. 10. In Spain is home to the world's oldest restaurant.
Architecture in Spain. Antoni Gaudi's life. Antoni Gaudi was a Spanish architect who designed innovative buildings in the late 19th century. He was influenced by Neo-Gothic style. Gaudi's architecture style was ahead of its time, involving sophisticated designs. The Sagrada Familia is the only one that Gaudi could see, as on 10th of June 1926, he died as a result of a tragic accident that occurred 3 days earlier, when he was run over by a tram.
The history of the Sagrada Familia. Original design for the project for the Sagrada Familia was made by the dissocian architect Francisco del Paula del Villar. Later on, technical differences about the cost of materials led this architect to be replaced with another who was starting to stand out in the field, Antoni Gaudi. Antoni Gaudi's work, which aimed to build a perfect temple, depicts the life of Jesus and the history of faith. The 18 towers are each named after a biblical character.
Antoni Gaudi's architecture style. Generations of architects have been influenced by Gaudi's unique style. His work is defined by a few characteristics such as vivid colors and textures, natural organic designs, and religious imagery.
Some of Spain's most popular foods are paella, which is a rice dish containing seafood and is widely accepted as their national dish. You have tortilla española, which is known as their comfort food, gazpacho, which is a type of soup, and churros, which became very popular in Mexico.
Top 5 most popular drinks in Spain: vermouth, horchata, granizado, which is a type of lemonade, rebujito, and sangria, which is the most popular one of
We now have something a little different from 11H, who are going to tell us a bit about the United Nations, its history, and some of the current issues facing it.
Hello, and welcome to UN Day from 11H. Everybody. Hello.
The United Nations is an international organization founded in 1945. Its member countries have acted together to ensure global peace and security since the end of the Second World War. Its headquarters are in New York City. The UN is responsible for international cooperation, and since its formation has set out several goals to ensure worldwide equality can be achieved.
Freshwater problems. Clean freshwater is an essential ingredient for a healthy human life, but 1.1 billion people lack of access to water and 2.7 billion experience water scarcity at least 1 month per year. By 2025, 2/3 of the world's population may be facing water shortages.
Torture and human rights. Torture is a very big problem around the world. People are forced into doing things they do not want to through violence. Most countries in the world practice torture, including the USA, illegally. Torture types include Chinese droplets, airplane, and elongation.
South Korea and North Korea were simultaneously admitted to the United Nations in 1991. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea is highly centralized totalitarian state. Despite being one of the poorest countries in the world, it maintains one of the largest militaries and devotes significant resources to its nuclear weapon and ballistic missile development programs. It has a military nuclear weapons program, and as of early 2020, it is estimated to have an arsenal of approximately 30 to 40 nuclear weapons. Eliminating discriminations and giving women empowerment and equal rights is beneficial to development. Women's rights are human rights and equal rights to everyone, no matter the gender, and in peace. But the UN has made a lot of progress in advancing gender equality and women's rights. These rights include the right to live free from violence, slavery, and discrimination, to be educated, to own property, to vote, and to earn fair and equal wage. UN Women is the UN entity dedicated to gender equality and the empowerment of women.
Child labor is, generally speaking, work for children that harms them or exploits them in some way, physically, mentally, orally, or by blocking access to education. In Asia, 22% of the workforce is children. In Latin America, 17% of the workforce is children. The social malady of child labor can be brought under control if each individual takes responsibility of reporting about anyone employing a child below the age of 14 years old. Thus, instead of ignoring, we should find out a way about reporting child labor and how such children can actually be saved. Child labor can be controlled if the government functions effectively with the support of the public.
They won this conflict against Armenia with help from Turkey by committing countless war crimes using white sulfur in combat, detaining and torturing and mutilating Armenian soldiers, destroying religious monuments, burning houses, and committing genocide on the civilians that populated Nagorno-Karabakh. The UN did not intervene as promised.
As a result, now Nagorno-Karabakh is under Russian and Azeri control.
And now helping me to relive my youth a little, we have the Year 10 IGCSE music group who are going to be playing us some Oasis, Wonderwall in fact. So, over to you girls.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the word is on the street that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead us there are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. Because maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonder wall. And all the roads that lead you there were winding, and all the lights that light the way were blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonder wall. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonder wall. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. You're gonna be the one that saves me. You're gonna be the one that saves me.
Favorite foods. Dumplings. Dumpling is the most famous traditional Chinese food, which was invented by medical sage Zhang Zongjin more than 1,800 years ago. In the past, people used to eat them with soup. Chinese noodles. Noodles are one of the oldest traditional Chinese foods. Chinese people have started eating noodles about 4,000 years ago. At first, noodles was small dough sheet. Later, in the Jin dynasty, thin noodles like strips appeared.
Dances. Among the best known of the Chinese traditional dances are the dragon dance and the lion dance, and both the dances were known in earlier dynasties in various forms. Dance in China is a highly varied art form, consisting of many modern and traditional dance genres. The dances cover a wide range from folk dances to performances in opera and ballet, and may be used in public celebrations and ceremonies.
One of the most important Chinese traditions is Lunar New Year, which is the Chinese New Year. This is celebrated by spending time with family, setting off fireworks, and giving red envelopes with money to children. It starts in roughly in late January and and lasts until middle of February. Another important Chinese tradition is the Chinese zodiac. Every year is assigned with one of 12 animals, including the rat, ox, tiger, and monkey among others.
In the ancient time, the Chinese emperor had a distinguished way of planning and arranging their cities. The location of individual buildings was often decided based on the surrounding geography. Many important buildings and palaces were aligned on a north-south axis with the main entrance facing south. If a building was composed of different parts joining by intervening country arts, these were all aligned on the same axis, one behind another. Less important structures were built on the west and east sides of important buildings.
Fun fact: it is the third largest country in the world. Toilet paper was invented in China. Red symbolizes happiness in China. Fortune cookies are not a Chinese custom. There is only one time zone in China. Tea was discovered in China. Mount Everest is located between Nepal and Tibet, an autonomous region of China.
First of all, what most people know Sweden for is IKEA, the famous furniture company, which actually has Sweden's flag colors on its own logo. IKEA has revolutionized the furniture and house decor market for the better, causing people to stray away from expensive luxury pre-made pieces in favor of much cheaper and more practical furniture that many times you actually have to assemble yourself. It was only founded 78 years ago in Sweden, but now it's based in the Netherlands and has close to 500 stores worldwide, serving every major continent. Fun fact: IKEA is responsible for 1% of commercial wood consumption throughout the whole world, meaning it is one of, if not the, largest users of wood in the retail sector. Swedish culture. One of the key characteristics of Swedish culture is that Swedes are egalitarian in nature and humble. It is rare to witness a Swede demonstrating anger or strong emotions in public. When speaking, Swedes speak softly and calmly. Next on, we have a very famous footballer that probably many people know of, and is arguably the most famous Swedish person. It's about Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He was born in 1981, and he's considered to be one of the best strikers of all time, having won 31 championships and having scored 570 goals. He has been the top scorer for Sweden, having scored 62 goals for his own country. Norse history and mythology. Norse mythology originated from Scandinavia, stemmed from paganism and continued after the introduction of Christianity. The Norse people believed that the world was made up of a region of ice and mist called Niflheim. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. So this is a diagram of the Norse gods. As you can see, there's also a Norse god called Loki, like the Marvel character. Swedish food. One of the most famous Swedish foods is probably their meatballs, which are usually served with potatoes. Another weird food that they serve in Sweden is the Swedish sandwich cake, which is made up of several layers of bread with creamy filling in between. It is served cold and cut like a dessert cake. Would you like it at your next birthday? On to Swedish dessert. So first there's the crumble pie, which has no pastry shell, however fillings are added directly to the pie dish. And then there's the sweet roll, which consists of a wheat bun which has its top cut off and is then filled with almond cream. This is it for our presentation, and now you guys will see our Year 12 beloved colleagues doing and performing a Swedish dance.
Hi there, and welcome to Year 13's presentation on UN Day, where we'll be looking at the history and present situation of Russia. We'll be looking at their cuisine and food, their music, and their history. First off, let's look at cuisine and street food. Have you perhaps heard of these lesser-known dishes? First off, we have shashlik, I hope I pronounced that right, which is a form of kebab, consisting of cubed meat and vegetables grilled on skewers. It's interesting to note that much of Russian cuisine, including this, once consisted of peasant food and other common dishes which would be eaten by the general population, thus its popularity. And also, have you heard of pirotsky? Perhaps if you're from northern Romania you may have, where they're commonly known as piroște, which consist of baked or fried buns with a variety of fillings. They're also great street food. We recommend that you try them out. But what about music? Because Russia is famously known for its music, amongst other things, producing everything from classical music with geniuses such as Shostakovich to the more modern hip-hop you may have heard. Over its history, Russian music has developed greatly. Before the 20th century, classical composers, especially Tchaikovsky, were very important. In the 20th century, there was a brief period of experimentation with less common genres, but Shostakovich and overall classicism was generally kept. However, after 1989 especially, more modern currents, such as the famous Russian hip-hop or Russian pop currents, also developed. The TV especially saw music being brought to everyone's home, and subcultures from around the country could more easily interact with each other, and these more experimental genres, which we associate with Russian music today, became increasingly popular. Lastly, a look at its history, because Russia has gone through many stages, starting off as an empire, then becoming a world superpower in the Soviet Union, and up to today. The Russian Empire was founded in 1547 and was only overthrown in 1917. That's almost 400 years of continuous existence. During it, Russia became the largest country to ever exist in the modern age, except only the British and French empires. But towards the end, Russia did become increasingly poor, out of date, and technologically backwards compared to much of Europe. After it, and at its end, the Russian Revolution of 1917 overthrew the ruling Tsar, seeing the Bolsheviks take power. Vladimir Lenin became chairman of the Council of People's Commissars and leader of the Soviet Union. Much progress was made following the revolution. However, many also suffered due to the subpar conditions that existed in many areas. Life in the USSR was quite different from that under the empire. Electricity and infrastructure in general became increasingly commonplace as the government tried to modernize what was left of Russia, and even the first man in space, Yuri Gagarin, was a Soviet citizen. However, the Soviet regime was very quick to punish those who disagreed with its decisions, especially towards the early period of its existence. The fall of the USSR happened 69 years after its establishment in 1989, with Boris Yeltsin becoming the first president of the newly created Russian Federation. Many parts of the USSR became independent countries, especially Ukraine and Belarus, states which had previously been part of Russia and the Russian Empire, perhaps for centuries in some cases. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed this brief overview of Russia's history and culture. We hope you have a great UN Day.
So now, sadly, it's time to finish off the proceedings of our online UN Day for this year. And to see us out in style, I'm going to hand over to Andre, who is going to play one of his self-penned songs, The Best of Me. We've seen Andre perform on many occasions, both on television and also within the school sports hall. But it's always a pleasure to hear him play, and it just goes to show the talent that we have within IBSB. So I wish you all the best of half-term holidays. Stay safe, everyone, and we will see each other again soon. So, over to you, Andre.
If I find the rest of me, will you save my melody? So I can give it to you. And talking logically, I could say the best of me is somebody that I wish to be, and sell it all to you. And I'm jumping out the second floor, but it's built so that I never catch my fall. Then I find I have no parachute, but it's just a dream that's waking me. So I'm counting back to shut my eyes and sleep. Maybe then I'll find the best of me and give it all to you. And give it all to you. If finding destiny induces clarity, then all the rest of me I give to you. If you found my melody, then you might just give it all to me. 'Cause it's just another song, not meant for anyone I know. But I'm jumping out from miles away, and it's likely that I'll never find my way. Then I get it's just an endless sigh. But it's just a dream that's sinking me, so I'm counting back to shut my eyes and sleep. Maybe then I'll find the best of me and give it all to you, and give it all to you, and give it all to you. Then I get it's just an endless sigh. But it's just a dream that's sinking me, so I'm counting back to shut my eyes and sleep. Maybe then I'll find the best of me and give it all to you. And give it all to you. If I find the rest of me, will you save my melody?